Everyone. Before I begin, am I audible to everyone? If you can give me a thumbs up or yes in the chat box, or you can turn on your cameras and give me a smile. Please let me know if I'm audible. Thank you, Rajendra ji. Thank you, Bidisha. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Great. Amazing. Perfect. Thank you, Rajendra ji. Thank you, Pallavi. Amazing. So, yes. Diya, hi. Great. So, good evening and welcome to today's session on SoulSensei. We're extremely happy to have you all here. While we wait for another minute, those who are already here request you all to settle in case you need a journal, a pen, a bottle of water. It'll be really nice that we have everything before we begin today's session. Also, in the meanwhile, how's everyone feeling? If you just have one word to share in the chat box right now, as this very moment, how are we all doing? It can be open, curious, excited, nervous, inquisitive, happy, at peace. Would love to hear from you. So let's try to make today's session interactive. Would love to hear from you. How's everyone feeling? How's everyone doing? Happy, lovely, Pamela. Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. How are you doing? Dia is tired. Oh my God. I hope your Diwali has been fun. I hope everyone has had an amazing, safe and sound Diwali. Also, is there any sort of intention that you're carrying into today's session? It can be as simple as I'm open to receiving, I want to learn more, I need a break, I just want to pause. Any intention that we're carrying into today's session, and would really love to read back from everyone. If you can share up on the chat box, it'll be really nice to hear. Would love to hear. So I am particularly very inquisitive about today's session. It's something that I've always wanted to know. You want to feel better, Dia says. Wow. I hope everyone's intentions are fulfilled by today's session end. So yes. Hi everyone and welcome to today's session. Rajendra says, curious. Oh lovely. Amazing. So yes. Curious again, Pamela. Amazing. So hi everyone and welcome to today's session. My name is Pooja Anandani and I'm from Team SoulSensei and I'll be here throughout the session in case you need anything. So before we start, I would encourage everyone to please switch on your video cameras. It'll be really nice to establish a connection between our guide and you. Also help us to elevate today's session energy, making it more alive and more lively. Some point it gets really difficult chatting with black boxes, It'll be really nice if we can see everyone's smiling face. Also a quick note, your video will not be a part of the recording anywhere. Turning on your video will just help us create the space to be a more holistic and keep the energy more heavy. Also think of it as if you can get a personalized one-to-one guidance directly from our leader. Think of it as a private consultation within a safe group space. Thank you, Rajinder ji. Thank you very much for turning on your camera. It's so lovely to see your smiling face. So, for people who are new to SoulSensei, our goal at SoulSensei is to make every session a safe and supportive space where you can ask freely, share openly, and receive abundantly, and leave feeling lighter, calmer, and more happier. So, I'll just share today's session flow. We'll begin with a short introduction followed by the session led by our guide. Post that, the floor will be open for question and answers. Please feel free to drop your questions in the chat box or raise your hand at any point during the session. We'll try to answer as many questions as possible. So our today's session is led by our amazing SoulSensei, Raakshitaa, on understanding dating mistakes. So I'm delighted to introduce Raakshitaa. For over 12 years, she has been a guiding light, a transformer in terms of relationship journeys of modern women and men, from a place of loneliness to a place of being deeply loved. Her incredible success is shown through her ebook, which is Lonely to Loved, which has helped thousands in terms of through her unique Raven and Wolf theory, which teaches the powerful dance of polarity. Also, it's such an amazing achievement that there has been over 2,000 downloads for this ebook in over 3.5 months, which is commendable. Raakshitaa just doesn't give us dating tips, she facilitates a deeper transformation. She helps everyone heal, build on their self-worth, Step into a feminine or masculine power and become a magnet for a partner who's not just a match but a true mirror of your entire wholeness. So, without any further ado, over to you, Raakshitaa, and I hope everyone enjoys today's session.
Welcome, beautiful ravens. Before we start, thank you so much, Pooja, for much detailed and lovely introduction. Really appreciate your contribution here, and just to set the stage to get me started. So, welcome. I see a lot of beautiful faces here, and I'm very excited. Though Pooja has shared pretty much all of it, I'm Raakshitaa, and tonight we are tapping into your inner raven. What is a raven? An inner raven is your most intelligent, discerning self. And we're going to take that raven inside of you to help you transform your dating life. Today, we will be discussing top 3 dating mistakes which I have experienced over the span of my coaching, which lots and lots of modern women are making. Apart from these top 3 mistakes, I will be discussing a few more, but we will primarily focus on the first 3, which I feel many of us are struggling. So, leaving my learnings aside, let me ask you a quick question. From whatever your current stage is, in your dating scenario, in your dating life, what do you see the most? Is it ghosting? You can just type in ABC and I'm going to give you options for that. A is for ghosting, B is for situationship, and third one is when the spark fizzles, that chemistry which you feel in the very initial first or second dates or during your crush phase, when you get in the more vicinity experience of a person, that spark fizzles. So what is it that you're experiencing the most in your dating currently? Wonderful. Yeah. So great. I see Shruti saying ghosting is so common. Vidisha again says, okay, Vidisha says spark fizzles, interesting. Pallavi's A, ghosting. Spark fizzles, Java, not dating yet. Okay. Pallavi, both A and B, situationships. I'm experiencing all 3. That's Pamela. Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for the participation, ladies. It's really wonderful to see the responses. And more than anything, it keeps the session interactive and it will help me to understand what is it that you guys are struggling with currently and hopefully help you find a solution for that. Now, the top 3 primary mistakes. Just give me a minute here. Pooja, are we going to bring up the presentation? Is it needed? Do you feel
Yeah.
that's needed?
See, it's upon you. If you would like to have it on screen, we can have it. In case you want to just, share it via just you speaking, we can do that as well. Whatever you are comfortable with.
Let's bring it up.
Perfect. Preeti, can we please have the presentation?
Can we start with 2 or 3 slides prior to this slide, Preeti? Okay, while Preeti is shooting up the presentation, let us talk about the top 3 mistakes, which a lot of women are doing currently, given the modern dating scene. Okay, I think she's trying here. Wonderful. Yeah. Preeti, you can move on to the next slide. The next slide, please. Wonderful. Thank you so much. So, apart from the mistakes, we will talk about how we behave, how the women currently behave in their dating environment, and how it's sabotaging them, and what should be the shift that we are ideally hoping to achieve so that we get the result in terms of attracting the right relationship, which is meaningful, which is filled with love, which literally feels warm and fuzzy, feels like home to us. I know it's, it's straight out of probably the love novels, but it is very much possible to anybody who might feel or say otherwise to me. Next slide, please. Preeti, next slide, please. Thank you. So the top three mistakes that, a lot of modern women are making is number one, because we have been conditioned to be independent, to be the stronger person. What we want to do is immediately jump into the interview mode. Now, what is interview mode? You can move on to the next slide, please. So the interview mode is wherein if you're asked a question, rather than keeping it playful, fun. Preeti, are you there with me? Thank you. Okay, so rather than keeping the conversation playful or fun, we jump into our automatic mode, which is to be very logical, very analytical, think from a mind, rather than keeping things very easy, flowy, fun. And there is a very serious root cause as to why we behave the way we do, why we act the way we do, the why we talk in a certain pattern we do, right? What we call it shadows. Now, what are shadows? Shadows is not, in this scenario, shadows is not what, the dark part of us, which gets formed when we are in light. Given our current situation, shadow is essentially the part of us inside of us that we hid because of whatever past situations we might have been, because of shame, because of embarrassment, because of guilt, whatever it might have been. But though we think we hid it, it silently controls the entire show. It controls how we show up, how we perceive the world, and how we behave. In this case, the shadow with which we are operating from is called the inner controller. This is a part of you which is terrified of uncertainty and vulnerability of the true connection. And in order for us to feel safe, it tries to logically assess and qualify a partner, thinking that if I can just get the right data points, I can just skip the entire struggle, skip the entire journey, and avoid getting hurt. It's literally a defense mechanism against the fear of unknown. So from NLP perspective, NLP is neuro-linguistic programming perspective. This is literally a distortion in our internal map of the world. Our map says vulnerability is simply equals to danger. Therefore, we adapt into this strategy by staying in very logical and analytical part of our mind. Now, when we operate, especially the romantic relationships or the connections from the logical and analytical part of our mind, we are operating from masculine energy. And what it does is, it keeps us protected, but it also prevents us from from stepping into a vulnerable space. Now, that vulnerable space, that feeling of connection, of being, little soft and fragile is the feminine energy. That is our true energy. Until the point in time we cannot operate from a feminine energy, we are not able to establish the real connection. We also need to understand that when we are operating from our hyper logical and analytical part of our mind, we are also cut away from our own intuition. And when we are cut away from our own intuition as females, it's very tough for us to even understand that the person who's sitting opposite to us, is he being genuine, or is he just putting on a show to make us feel better about the day? So in such a situation, if you operate from the masculine or the logical part of the brain while going on the date, or you operate in this interview mode, here you need to shift from interviewing to being a mysterious being. A raven, a girl in her divine feminine, somebody who's healed, somebody who knows how to follow her own intuition. She observes and senses. She doesn't interrogate. She focuses on the energy and not the achievements of the man that is in front of her. So that's the mistake number one. If you have any questions, you can just note them down and I'd be very happy to take them up at the end of this session. Preeti, can we move on to the next slide, please? Thank you. Now, the mistake number 2 is the pursuer energy. Now, pursuer energy, I see more and more and more and more women doing this, and it's literally sabotaging a potentially good relationship. What is a pursuer energy? Pursuer energy is when you initiate and take the load of carrying the entire conversation. It can mean anything from initiating the texts, making the plans, carrying the conversations, with an excuse of saying, maybe he is busy, maybe he's not available. Oh, he said that he has this crazy project going on. I should surprise him. What it does is it puts you in the leadership position in the relationship. And when the women lead, they lead from the masculine edge. A man in his healed masculine would never want to date a woman in her hyper masculine. He would want a soft, beautiful, feminine female. I'm not talking about all sexy, attractive, dainty sort of a girl, but a girl who can receive, a girl who can allow him to step up, a girl who can allow him to make plans. And if he's not making plans, that's okay. Why? Because she also enjoys her own life. So here, the shift that we need to make is embrace the magnet mindset. Learn the power of allowing and responding accordingly. We will deep dive into this, of course, in our upcoming detailed session, wherein we will discuss the 3 steps Raven dating code in far more detail. And I will also give you a lot of solid tools that you can start implementing literally from your first upcoming date. But for now, we deep dive currently in this presentation. Let's understand why you behave in that pursuer energy. So the shadow behind it is people pleaser or a martyr. And it is a part of you that believes that your value is directly connected to what you do for others, what you provide, how nice of a person you are, how helpful of a person you are, or you feel that without you helping somebody else, that somebody else is going to fail. And it's very hard for you to even stop being that nice, goody girl, because you know, or you feel that if you stop doing, you will be somewhere abandoned. So this comes from a very deep-seated fear of not being good enough. So you try to overcompensate. You pursue because subconsciously you believe that you must earn love and attention. You don't feel that you're worthy of it just by doing nothing. From NLP perspective, you have this limiting belief installed in you. Like you are responsible for the success of this connection. Or if I will not get a better, or you have this fear that you might not get a better guy. So you just end up doing everything to keep the connection going. Or simply, you give yourself excuses that let me try to help him out by planning and initiating just so that you can keep him in your life. You can feel fulfilled. You can have this sense of having someone with you, right? And this is an incorrect framing that leads also to exhausting action. The healthy reframe in this scenario is that I'm responsible for showing up as my best self and observing if he can meet up with the energy, actions, and efforts to where I am. Raven's shift here is embrace the magnetic allowing. A raven doesn't chase. She calls from her perch quite literally, and her power is in her presence, in her discernment, in her ability to receive. We will master this, of course, in our next session where we will work on the tools, step-by-step tools, wherein you will understand what should be your energy even before you are entering into a date, during the date, and when it's about to end as well. Let's move on to the third mistake. Preeti, can you move on to put the third slide? Next slide, please. Thank you. So mistake number 3 is an instant nesting filter, judging each and every date as your future husband. So if anybody of you is nodding right now or smirking or smiling, feeling guilty, you can just raise your hand in the chat box, right? Now, what is an instant boyfriend filter? Instant boyfriend filter is wherein you have created this pressure upon your first date as well as upon yourself to identify whether that guy you are with is a potential husband material or not. And because of this pressure, we start to spiral and many times end up sabotaging a potentially good relationship. So why do we behave like this? The shadow which is operating here is desperation or anxious attachment. This part is operating from a core fear of scarcity. There are no good men, or it's very hard to find marriage material men, or this is my last chance, only chance. Why? Because probably I'm aging. I haven't been married, on a certain defined age number. So I must do everything to lock this down now. It comes from a place of lack. It runs miles away from a place of abundance. And from NLP perspective, your internal state is framed as I am incomplete without a partner. And if you talk about in the sense of manifestation, this is extremely low vibration identity, and it will end up making you attract partners who only mirror that incompleteness, that sense of lack. So the goal here is to shift to a state where you are convinced that you are whole, you are sovereign woman, open to sharing your complete life with a compatible partner, not with any man who walks your way. So the Raven shift here is adopt the soaring curiosity. A raven explores her territory with keen interest. The goal is to see that if you enjoy the flight, which in our case is the date, and not to plan the entire future, the marriage, the kids, the white picket fence, the bungalow, or a beautiful apartment immediately. See if you're enjoying the company, you're enjoying the energy. Adopt this curiosity filter because the goal of the first date is just to see if you want a second one and nothing more. That's it. Cool. We move on to the next slide now. Preeti, please move on to the next slide. Now, apart from these 3 mistakes, there are a lot of other mistakes also which women end up making. Why? Because we feel that if we show or operate from the goodness of our heart, the man would identify it and would think that we are the women, the wife material, and might just, because of the goodness of our heart, get to marry, decide to marry us, which never works. So the other dating mistakes include that you play a therapist or a rescuer to the person who has been through severe trauma. So girls, I need you to understand that you can, no matter how good your heart is, you can never do justice to it. If he needs a therapist, then he needs to go to a certified professional therapist. Next mistake is hiding your light to avoid intimidating him. So I have seen so many women, such amazing, intelligent, bright, creative women, not too proud of their own achievements when they're sitting in a gathering. They would not even talk about it. Rather, they would continue to uplift their man. Why? Because they feel that talking about herself he might feel that he's not good enough for her. However, if a man is in his healthy masculine, he would himself step up and put you on a pedestal. So the reason we are pointing out these mistakes is don't dim your light. Let the right man find you so that he can put you on a pedestal. Next mistake is the cool girl persona, wherein you want something, but you pretend to be cool with the things which might not work in your favor, right? A guy might want a casual relationship, but you are looking for a more meaningful, deeper relationship. But just to see where things go, you play cool. You're like, yeah, let's see where it goes, which will work against you in each and every scenario. Mistake number 7 is ignoring the price of admission, wherein maybe a guy is being flaky, maybe the guy is not giving you enough attention, maybe the guy is, you are an afterthought. He has had an amazing day with the friends or in office, and just because he's got a little span of 5 minutes where he's feeling a little bored, he's sending you a message and you are ignoring that, saying, oh, he has had a busy day. Next mistake is focusing on his potential instead of reality. Oh man, how we women like to build our dream castles. Let's not do that. Then is the checklist mentality, wherein we have the checklist of, I want tuck, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things. While we are so busy focusing on the checklist, we forget the vibe, the energy, the sync part of a relationship. We are just busy ticking off the things which are there on a checklist. Number 10 is premature mature attachment. This happens with a lot of women who sometimes somewhere have faced rejection in the past, right? So whenever the opposite sex shows even a little bit of care, little bit of attention to you, you end up developing that sense of attachment, which means far more to you than it means to the person who's there on the opposite side of this attachment. Next mistake is oversharing too soon, using sex as a shortcut to intimacy. I'm going to read through these because I think we are running really short on time. Mistake number 13th is love should be easy. Any relationship worth keeping is always a journey. What should be easy is having hard communications when the things are getting messy. Because only by having hard communications with a lot of empathy and love, you can make love worthwhile of living, enjoying, and of course, easy. Mistake number 14 is neglecting your own life and friends. This happens so much, wherein you get a boyfriend or you find a person who you are madly in love with, and suddenly all your plans, all your life revolves around that one person. Your friends call you, you say, no, I have to go out with him. You say, friends have a birthday party. Oh, I'm going out. No. And then the last one we're going to cover is try to be his cool mom, right? You try to teach him not to smoke, not to do this. This is a better way to do things. So what it does is it puts you in the position wherein you are constantly frustrated and nitpicking on him. And he also doesn't like the energy and the vibe. Next slide, please, Preeti. Thank you. So these are the mistakes which very often a lot of modern women make. Now, how to overcome them, right? So if you're ready to fully embody your inner raven and learn the code of how to attract powerful aligned partner, we will discuss it in so much more detail in our upcoming session, which is Raven's Dating, in which we will not only share the patterns as to why you do and make those mistakes, but also how to overcome them. I think Preeti or might share the link here for you to book the session. Otherwise, while you register for the upcoming session, I think we can open for questions and answers. If anybody has any questions, I'd be very happy to take them up.